Wow, that was a pretty cool mid-season finale. So, non-spoiler review. The episode was about 90 minutes long this week with commercials, so cut the commercials out and it'd be, I don't know, like an hour and 7 minutes, an hour and 8 minutes or something like that. Some stuff happened. There were some vehicles. There were some people played pool. Okay, and now back into the actual spoiler review for this. This was a pretty good episode. I kind of liked how they were setting everything up for this going forward. It starts out with Maggie. She's still grieving Glenn, obviously. She's at the can't think of it, Hilltop Colony. I just spaced on the word colony somehow. I don't know. So she's back at the Hilltop Colony, and she's mourning Glenn. And can't remember the dude's name, but the guy who's kind of the leader of the Hilltop Colony, kind of a jerk, old guy, keeps getting her name wrong, and now, funnily enough, I can't remember his name, so I'm just going to call him Tom, because Tom sounds good. So Tom is there, and he's just kind of being a jerk, just basically like, oh, you know, you're not really as good as you think you are, kind of stuff, and just things like that towards Maggie. Yeah, totally unnecessary. The beginning of the episode, it's really just kind of giving you a glimpse at where everybody's at right now. Negan's still crashing at Rick's place right now, hanging out with Carl and Judith. Negan's shaving, always against the grain, which, I don't know, little side note, I don't know, like, I feel like you get a smoother shave when you go against the grain, but is that really good for your skin, like pulling against the pores and everything? I don't know. I don't know what the best thing to do is, but whatever. Negan always says you go against the grain, and if he told me that, I probably wouldn't disagree with him. I don't know. Daryl, he's kind of just fed up. He's getting ready to try to bust out and make a run for it. Rick and Aaron are still out there. They're surveying everything. They're trying to figure out how they're going to get across this lake to the little houseboat that has what they're assuming all of the supplies in it. That's where they think all the supplies are, and we hope that that's where it is. Spoilers, it totally is where all of the supplies are, and they make it there. Tara brings over that little pre-made lemonade stuff. God, I miss that stuff. I used to drink that all the time. I think it's Country Time Lemonade. That stuff, if you're a lemonade fan, that's probably my favorite lemonade on the planet. Anyway, Tara brings over some of the little powdered lemonade stuff. Olivia mixes it up, and she's all like, no. I have to take this to Negan. I have to bring this to him. I have to go back in there. I promised Rick that I would look after Judith, so I have to do this. I'm going to do this. Rick and we keep going back to like everybody, like I said. So Rick and Aaron, they're like, okay, well, today is today and only today. That's kind of their little mantra for this, because they really have to go through and they really have to get all of this stuff ready for Negan, because they don't know that he's there already. They think that they still have a couple of days. They think that they've got time to do their little supply run and get back before Negan shows up. They have no idea that he's there. So go back to Negan. He's made a very nice looking pasta dish, and it looks like some decent pasta sauce. I like my pasta sauce. I think that mine is awesome, but Negan's, it looked good enough. Offers Carl a taste. Carl's like, no. Make a huge meal, ready for everything, but Negan's getting impatient. He's got places to go and things to see and things to do, so they start eating dinner. Now we're going to check in with Morgan, who has gone to visit Carol over at her little house. It's kind of sort of close to the kingdom, but I don't know. It's walking distance, but I don't know. Saying it's walking distance in The Walking Dead seems odd because everything is walking distance because very few people, it seems like, actually have cars, so everything is walking distance because everybody walks everywhere. But this seems fairly close walking distance to the kingdom. So, Morgan is there. He's leaving some food and just some stuff for Carol. She's a little bit irritated. Somebody else from the kingdom shows up, and again, she doesn't want anybody there. She just wants to be left alone. Cut back a little bit, and Daryl he's just out of his little cage now, and he's exploring. He's looking around. He wants to try to get out of there. He wants to try to do something. This episode sets up a lot, and it's good that this was a mid-season finale, but at the same time it's really annoying because I really want to see what's happening next. They did a very good job with this. I like this episode. It seemed like this first half of the season definitely had some filler episodes. This one really wasn't. We got a lot of forward momentum on a lot of things. The houseboat that Rick and Aaron find filled with supplies, you just see this pair of boots, and that's really it. And it's foreshadowing. So there is, this guy definitely, I'm assuming guy, this boot wearing person. He's definitely not from the kingdom, definitely not from Alexandria, definitely not one of the saviors. He's definitely not from the Hilltop Colony. So he's somebody new. This is some new person. This is some new group. So there are more survivors out there than we think. A couple of the main things that happened. Michonne, she's still in the car going with, I don't even know if we ever found out the name of the female savior that she's with, but Michonne is just trying to strike up conversation and just engage a little bit, and not really getting anywhere. And I don't know, my first reaction was, Michonne just wants a gal pal. She just wants somebody that she can, just chat with. But I'm probably wrong. Like that, I liked those little moments where Michonne is trying to find out, how they can kind of sort of get through this. Well, actually, no, Michonne she just wants Negan. She wants to find Negan. She wants to find and hurt Negan. This lady kind of leads them towards a portion of the Savior's camp, and she just says, yeah, that's Negan. We're all Negan. And I think this is the first time that Michonne is really starting to grasp the concept of just how many of these saviors there are. There's a lot. They outnumber everybody, and they are all, as we've seen, very fanatically loyal to Negan. From there, we're kind of going back and forth again a little bit. The one guy from the kingdom is still talking with Morgan and Carol. He ends up saying that you really can't trust the saviors, which I was going to say you don't need to tell Morgan and Carol this, but you kind of do, because I don't think that they don't know what's happened back at Alexandria. They have no idea about how bad things have actually gotten with dealing with Negan. They have no clue how vicious this man is. So anyway, this guy's just trying to convince Carol and Morgan to talk to King Ezekiel to try to talk the king into actually organizing something where they are all going to just attack the saviors full force, take them by surprise. He doesn't want to wait for this, because if they wait, they are going to be in trouble. The kingdom will fall if they wait. I can't disagree with that. From what we've seen, because we've seen a heck of a lot more than these guys have, the saviors, they are not super loyal. It seems almost like it's one of those things where I'm sure you've seen this, or you've seen something like this before, where you're playing a game with a child, and the child ends up saying, well, just always ends up changing the rules so that it benefits only them. That's how it seems like the Saviors are. Negan is very willing to just make rules up on the fly, and it seems like that has kind of been passed on to his lieutenants or his subordinates. Which is really kind of weird, because when we had that glimpse into the Savior's world last week, I think it was last week, Negan is very big on structure and very big on, there are rules in place. He had that awesome speech where he was just basically saying, there are rules in place, and without rules we have nothing. And yet it seems like he's kind of one of the first ones who is willing to just kind of bend the rules so that it benefits him exclusively, or bend the rules so it's benefiting just the Savior. So these rules, they exist and rules are important, but as long as they're benefiting me, then they're up for negotiation. They're negotiable. So back at Alexandria, Negan is still just doing his thing. Rick and everybody, they're still hunting for him. They're still, well, not everybody. Rick and Aaron are still, they get to the houseboat. They find that it's totally stocked up, aside from ammunition. So they just assume that, well, that's the problem here. The dude ran out of ammo. So that's why everything fell apart. I'm not so sure. I'm thinking that the boot wearer, who we didn't really get a good look at anything about him, I'm thinking that person just kind of left everything like that. We also end up seeing Spencer. He's chatting with Rosita a little bit, and he doesn't know that Rosita has a bullet still, and she's waiting for the opportunity to just take Negan out. This was actually one of my favorite scenes of this. It was a short little scene, kind of in the middle of everything. Rosita she's just standing there looking at the bullet and just kind of staring at it and just focusing on it, and Father Gabriel is there, and I really like the arc that this guy's had through the last couple of seasons, where he seemed I don't want to say cowardly. Well, he seemed cowardly. He was willing to lock himself into his church and just keep everyone out, let everyone else just fend for themselves. And he's really changed. I like the arc that he's gone under, or that he's gone through over the course of the series so far. I like it. I like seeing where this guy's going. So anyway, him and Rosita are talking, and he basically asks her, like, okay, why do you have to kill Negan? Why? And she's like, well, he has to die. And he can't really argue with that. He's not going to argue with that. He thinks that Negan is a despicable person. But his big thing is, if you try to do this, the Saviors are going to kill you. And why does it have to be like that? And she has this really powerful moment where she basically ends up kind of saying, because I have nothing. I am all alone. Rick can't do this because he still has Judith and Carl. Carl can't do this because he still has Judith and Rick. Michonne can't do this because she's moving in with their family too. She is getting together with everybody. Maggie can't do this because, they don't even... everybody... She is just so convinced that everybody has somebody except for her. She has nothing, so she's the expendable one. She's the one who can actually go out and take care of Negan and just stop this. And if she dies, so be it. It's the cost of... The ends justify the means for her in this. And Gabriel just kind of snaps her out of it and is just kind of like, no, we have to do this. It has to happen, but we have to be smart about this. We have to wait for or create the perfect opportunity to do this. We can't just act impulsively. We can't do that. And he was very right. We end up finding out that Spencer, he's prepping himself for his little run in with Negan. He brings a bottle of alcohol with him, and he's gonna impress Negan and all this stuff. And he even tells Negan mentioned something about the only thing better would be if we could play some pool. And Spencer's like, they have a pool table right over there. We can use their pool table. It's in their garage. Let's go. So they start playing pool. And that's when Spencer screws up. That's when he's like, yeah, everything here was really great. My mom was in charge. My dad was alive. My brother was alive. Everything was great until Rick showed up. Rick ruined everything. If Rick was out of the way, I think that I'd be much better for us. It would be much better for everybody. And like that, Negan, he changes his tune entirely to the point where, from Negan's perspective, you can say what you want about Rick, but Rick is he's swallowed his pride, and he's going out there and he's doing stuff for Negan. He's actively contributing. Spencer's just trying to he's trying to sabotage Rick. He's trying to get Negan to do the dirty work. He wants Negan to kill Rick so that Spencer can then move into his rightful position as leader there. So Negan ends up saying, you know what, Rick's doing all this. Rick's going out there. Rick has guts. You don't. And that's when he stabs Spencer and slashes and just guts Spencer right in the middle of the street. And then he's like, I have never been more wrong. You do have guts, kid. They're all over the place now. They were right inside you this whole time. Rosita gets mad, pulls out her gun, takes the one shot, and then it cuts to black. And at first I was like, oh my god, that's totally gonna be the end of this. That's where they're gonna end this little mid-season thing, and it's gonna be a total cliffhanger like that. Nope, not a chance. There's still like a half hour left. That was like, totally. That was about 2/3 of the way through the episode. So when it comes back, we see, all she did was she shot Lucille. Like, Lucille was in the way. The bat was in the way. That does not sit well with Negan. He is very upset about this because he almost has this like personal kind of relationship with this bat. He thinks that, early in the episode, when they're sitting down for dinner, he announces, well, we have to eat because Lucille's hungry. So he is not very pleased with this. And he's like, okay, kill someone. And then one of the saviors just turns around, bang, just shoots Olivia, and she's dead. So this really kind of harkens back to everything that Gabriel was trying to tell Rosita. Just, we can't force this. We have to be patient. There's going to be a time, and if we try to force this, bad stuff is going to happen. He was very right with that. Rosita tried to force this, and now Olivia's dead. More than that, Rick shows up, and Rick's like, what the hell's going on? And then that's when Negan finally starts telling him, like, you really should be thanking me right now. Negan's like, yeah, your son snuck into my compound and machine gunned down several of my men. I didn't hurt Carl. In fact, I brought him back to you unharmed, and I even cooked him some spaghetti. And by the way, Rick, this little guy who's dead here, he was conspiring against you. He wanted me to kill you so that I could put him in charge. I got rid of him for you. And then he's like, and I got rid of one less mouth, so that's one less thing that you have to worry, one less person that you have to worry about feeding around here. Obviously talking about Olivia, how Olivia's dead now. Just all of this, it's all happening. This is way too much for Rick to process right now, where he's upset about everything. So in the end, Negan finally does end up taking all of the stuff that was brought, leaving, and he also grabs Eugene, because he wants the one who made the bullet. He knew that they didn't have any more bullets, because they took all of the bullets, so he wants the bullet maker. Tara originally says, no, it was me. Then Eugene, no, it was me. And then he starts trying to explain how, and then he's like, shut up, I believe you, I know it was you. So yeah, he has now taken Eugene as well. So, back to the Savior's compound, we find out that Daryl he's managed to escape. He's getting ready to actually like flee the compound. He runs into Fat Joseph, and Fat Joseph's like, "Look, dude, just go. It's fine. I'm supposed to be watching the gate, and I'm trying to just do what I can here. You just go. I don't care. It's fine. Just go." And then Daryl beats him to death with a pipe. Jesus and Daryl grab a gun and a motorcycle, and they take off. So they are leaving the Savior's compound now. So one of the people from Alexandria is safe, and that's Daryl. But one other one is just in just as much trouble now, because Negan he's got Eugene, and he's taken Eugene back to the compound now with everybody. Michonne finally shows back up because she's had a rough day. She's had a rough time with the female savior, who she just wanted to get information. She wanted to try to end everything with Negan. So Michonne finally gets back, and all of this is over with. Rick has now killed the zombie Spencer. Everything is done. Rick's just kind of sitting in a jail. I didn't realize that they had a jail. Oh wait, no, they did, because they had that one dude locked up in it. Morgan had somebody. No, that was just like in a random basement or a closet or something. I don't know. Anyway, they've got a jail in Alexandria, and Rick's just kind of in there right now. So Michonne comes in, and she's like, Carl told me everything. Carl told me what happened, and I found what I was looking for. And we know that this means that she's kind of found the Savior's compound. She knows where they are now, because that lady did lead her to something that she had never seen before. So, she ends up saying there are more saviors than we thought. There's far more of them than we had ever thought possible. But she gives a really great speech about how no matter what they have gone through, what Rick and Michonne have gone through, they are still together. They are still standing. They are still going through it. So how do they make this mean something? How do we make this actually matter? How do we do this? We do this. We have to fight, and we don't just have to fight for us because we're survivors. We have to fight for Rick. We have to fight for Judith, and we have to fight for Carl, and we have to fight for everybody at the hilltop. She doesn't know about the kingdom, but still, she's basically saying we have to fight to try to stop this plague of the saviors. We have to fight and stop them before they do something else. However, sorry, I've got really dry skin, and I'm always chewing on it. The winter is horrible on my hands. So she ends up saying, we can really only do this if we do this together. We need to do this together. So after that, cuts back to Maggie at the hilltop, and she's still visiting Glenn's grave, and then she climbs up the little watchtower thing, and she looks out, and she sees something. And she's happy. She's calling out to Enid and calling out to Sasha. They open the gates, and it's everybody. It's Rick, Michonne, Carl, Tara, Rosita, who's got a scar now, because Negan said that after scarring up Lucille's beautiful face, she needed to have something too, so she's got a scar now. So they are all there, and then they see Jesus and Daryl coming in. Daryl gives Rick a gun. Rick puts it back in his holster, and then they start walking. They're forming a plan, and everything looks like it's totally working out exactly how they wanted. They've got a plan now, and that's where it ends. Except after the credits, there's one final little stinger, a little teaser thing. We see a bald-headed, I think it's a man. It was the same boots from before, and he's watching Alexandria. He's watching Father Gabriel, and that's where it ends. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see where this picks up. I'm bummed that we gotta wait 3 months for this to find out where anything happens, but overall, I'm liking it. I'm liking this. So that's pretty much it for this week. thank you very much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Like, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. I'm gonna start trying to, I was thinking about this. I need to figure out what else to talk about now that Walking Dead is over for the next couple of months. So, I love sports. I'm a big Detroit fan. All things Detroit. Tigers, Pistons, Lions, Red Wings. So yeah, I think I'm going to start talking about some sports stuff and just trying to put that up every once in a while. I'm thinking about doing some movie reviews because I worked in a movie theater for like 11 or 12 years. And I loved it. I love movies still. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So, there will be stuff coming. That's pretty much it. Thank you again. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good night.